I'm down to 172 pounds like it was magic.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Prescription drugs used to suppress appetite have exploded in popularity this past year, with social media influencers and celebrities sharing the success they've had using the drug semaglutide, marketed as Wegovy and Ozempic, known technically as GLP-1 agonists.
Yes, I'm on row. They say GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. It's not, it's science.
Magic or science? Grab a coffee. Let's discuss. Let me speak a little bit about the GLP-1 receptor agonists. So the common drugs here, again, are semaglutide. In smaller doses, it's sold as a brand called Ozempic, and this normally treats type 2 diabetes. However, some people on the market here in Uganda apparently are using it for weight loss. But according to the guidelines, it's the drug in its higher dose called Wegovy, which is used for, or which should be used for, weight management. And then the other common drug is tirzepatide. Again, in smaller doses, it's typically used to manage type 2 diabetes. Mounjaro is the brand. Then in higher doses, that's what should be used for weight management. It is sold as Zepbound. How do these GLP-1 receptor agonists work? These GLP-1 receptor agonists are going to cause you to eat little food. And they do this by reducing your hunger. Reducing your hunger, they're going to act at your brain, and that's going to cause you to be satisfied longer. Another way these drugs act is they reduce on the emptying of the stomach. So emptying of food from the stomach into the intestines. So if food is not getting out of the stomach into the intestines as quick as possible, that means your stomach remains with food longer. And that is going to give you a sensation of satiety. So all in all, they are causing you to eat little amounts of food. But as we said, eating less food than you should over time is going to cause physiological stress. And when your body is stressed, you're going to spike cortisol. And when you spike cortisol, you are going to lose muscle. So, can Ozempic help you lose weight? Yes, but again, the context matters. If you're the kind of person who has been eating too much food, so in addition to their 3 meals, they are now also having several snacks, then they're taking lots of junk, lots of soda and all these things, that means they are not eating little amounts of food. If that person takes Ozempic, it may actually be beneficial for them because it can help them to curb their bad eating habits, eating too much food. So it's going to reduce on their hunger. So if they reduce on their hunger and they start eating less, then initially it may help them lose weight. But what we need to understand is that these drugs actually come with side effects. One of them I've already mentioned is muscle loss. Actually, there's a study which came out which showed that the muscle loss which occurs when people lose weight with Ozempic can be up to 40%. So imagine losing, say, 30 kilos, but of those 30 kilos, 40%, so 12 kilos is muscle. Think of a kilo of sugar. Now multiply that by 12. Imagine losing all of that muscle. That's very unhealthy. Actually, when I work with people, the acceptable amount of muscle loss. So if you lose 30, 40 kilos, you could probably lose some muscle while doing that, but it shouldn't exceed 10%. So if you lose 40 kilos, just 4 kilos should be muscle. That's the worst case. But when we work with people, we actually aim for them to at least maintain their muscle mass. So Ozempic is associated with large amounts of muscle loss in that total weight which you lose. We've labored to discuss the importance of muscle. I don't think you want that. Do you? All right, other side effects of GLP-1 receptor agonists, because these drugs reduce on the emptying of your stomach, so food doesn't get out of the stomach as quick as it should, you're going to have some gastrointestinal side effects. Nausea, feeling bloated, discomfort, cramping in the stomach. But worse side effects are there's an increased risk of pancreatitis, inflammation of your pancreas. There's an increased risk of gallstones, which can also cause inflammation of the gallbladder. And then some studies have also shown that there's an increased risk of certain thyroid tumors. And some other studies have also associated them with an increased risk of mental disorders, particularly depression. You need to consider all these things if you really choose that you want to go the route of losing fat by using Ozempic or using Mounjaro, one of these drugs, which is on the market. The choice is really yours. Again, please, if you want to do this, by all means, do it. Awesome. I hope you found value in the video. In the next video, we'll be discussing type 2 diabetes drugs and how effective they actually are in managing type 2 diabetes. So while you wait for that video, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss out when we post that video. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and I'll speak to you soon.